Hey, it's Heidi. Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to talk about assertiveness and speaking your truth and standing up for what you believe in. I think that's one of the things that I actually do best with my clients is to help them actually stand in their own truth and go for the things in life that they really want. Now, here's a heads up. There's going to be some cursing in this video, so if that's not for you, you might not want to watch it. I'm also not a person that does like a 2-minute video because we have the attention spans of gnats. My people can actually sit for a little longer watching a video because they know they're going to get some tremendous value. So now we're ready to go. And just then, what did I do? Right? I just said a couple things to hopefully turn a couple people off who aren't going to be the right people that I'm trying to attract with this video. In the past, I would have done everything in my mind I could think of to try to make the quickest little video and say it in the perfect little way because I spent my life being PC. All right. And this is what I refer to as being PC, right? The P is pretending. I know this came up in a question about how to be assertive because most of the time, a lot of people are just kind of walking through life like pretending that they're okay with things they're not okay with, pretending that their life is better than it is. It's like we're in an Instagram filter society. If we're not okay, it's okay. How are you? Fine. How's everything? Fine. Aren't you getting a divorce? No, I don't know where you heard that from. You know, we just like to pretend that everything is much better than it actually is. But if you're like me, don't you kind of have a bullshit detector the size of Texas? Can't you see things how they really are? Me too. But it's funny. I have this built-in bullshit detector, but I was the one actually pretending and people-pleasing, wanting to make sure I was doing whatever I needed to do for everybody else, but me being the last on the list. Well, what's going to make you happy? It's like Coming to America. You guys saw that movie. It's one of my favorite movies where, you know, Eddie Murphy's going to marry the bride. She comes down the aisle prepared, and she's like, well, he's like, hold on, let's talk. You know, what kind of movies do you like? She's like, whatever movies you like. He's like, well, what kind of food do you like? Whatever kind of food you like. And then by the end of the scene, she's barking like a dog and hopping on one foot. I can relate. I did a lot of that too, right? So by the time somebody comes to me for help, as a client, they're like a ticking time bomb, ready to explode, tired of putting everybody else's needs before their needs. Perfecting, waiting, wanting to make sure if I say something in my meeting or if I offer something, it's the absolute right, perfect thing to say. If I'm going to be in business or make a video or put something out there that I have to make sure, oh God, everything's got to look like it's together. Well, you know what? Sometimes shit ain't together, okay? Sometimes it just is what it is, right? We want to be performing. Instead of just kind of being real, we want to put on a show. I know in my 20s, I spent the better part of my 20s not really understanding what sex is about because of our porny culture and just feeling like, oh, it's about putting on a show and it's about like, you know, being like exactly how you need to look and be. And I actually spent my whole entire 20s. Now, I know some people were probably grateful for that I spent my 20s like that, thinking it was about a performance. But I have to tell you, I wasn't one of them. Okay, here was me, not happy, not fulfilled. And even just then, there I go. I might have turned somebody off again. Heaven forbid, I just said porn in a video. Oh my God. I might be turning people off. Heidi, aren't you worried that when you say certain things, it's not going to appeal to everybody? Well, we're getting there. In the past, I would have been in my PC controlling, wanting to make sure that everything was just the way it needed to be and looked a certain way, and I'll take care of it, and I can only do it myself, and nobody can do it the way I can do it, right? Or constricting, afraid to be big. The old me probably would have been really scared to be talking so loudly, like, Heidi, why don't you like soften? Why don't you like bring it down a little bit? Okay, you're too loud, you're obnoxious. I think my biggest fear in life at the time, clearly I'm over it, used to be being obnoxious or being too much. So I was a shrinker, right? So much so that I developed an eating disorder, wanting to like even constrict my weight. I didn't want to take up space in the world, so I had to be as tiny as possible. Comparing. I always wanted to see, well, what other people doing? And oh, are they doing what I'm doing? And are they doing it better than me? And caretaking, being last on the list. Now, the reason I get so many emails from people saying, how do you be more assertive? How do you speak your truth? How do you stand for what you believe in? How do you pull the trigger on your dreams? How do you stop the self-destructive behavior, which is the suck it up buttercup, the helping Helen, the rescuing Renee, you know, all these different personalities that we take on? Because here's the deal. We spend the first half of our life trying to fit in so that people like us, okay? And here comes the swearing part, so log out now if you're not hip to that kind of thing. But we spend the first half of our lives trying to fit in, and the second half trying to figure out who the fuck we are. All right? And that's by the time somebody comes to me, they're like, I'm tired of being who you need me to be. I'm tired of being a puppet. So for the women who've been asking me lately, hey Heidi, how do you stand up for yourself? Well, like the beginning of this video where I said, hey look, if this isn't for you, then click out of here. If you don't like how loud I am, honey, keep your truck and turn down the volume and call it a day and go get some tea, okay? Why? Because I know that my job in life, just as much as it is to attract people, is to turn on the right people and turn off the wrong people. Part of my goal is to turn off as many people as possible so I can get to the turned on ones quicker. Why? Because those are actually my people. Those are my people. The people that are like picking up when I'm laying down, smelling when I'm stepping in, bagging what I'm mowing, right? They're like, yeah, but the people who are like, she's annoying. Oh my God, she talks too much. What, she's like full of herself and shit? She like thinks she has confidence? What the fuck? Those aren't my people. So what I used to do was settle for connection with people. Like, oh, they're connected to me. I'm not turning them off. Oh, thank God, I'm being PC. I'm being perfect. And what I really wanted was commitment. I wanted somebody to like put a ring on it, right? Metaphorically and literally. I wanted somebody to like be with me and like really be with me. But how could they be with me when I was being whoever they needed me to be instead of who I really was? Okay, some of you are settling for connection. So the woman who wrote me the email and said, hey, how do I tell people to get off of me that are like advancing at me and I don't want them? Well, honey, get the fuck off of me. Or you tell them, and you're so worried about upsetting somebody because you're thinking your worthiness is in the way because it's saying, well, maybe I have to settle for that guy that I'm not really attracted to, so let's keep him around just in case the thing that I really want doesn't work out. Same thing with the job. I got an email from somebody. It was like, my boss is like really jerky and terrible to work with. Well, you're settling. You get what you tolerate. That's not your job. That's not the place for you. What? I'm going to teach you how to get in there and eat shit better so you can digest it and it'll actually be okay going down? Boss, this is delicious. I'll have 2 more scoops. No, that's not your job. Your job isn't to learn how to eat shit. Your job is to stop eating it. Okay? Your job is to decide what it is that you really want and stop settling for less. Why do we get into this position? I could spend a half a day figuring that out with you. That's half the battle. Like any good life coach is going to get under the hood and figure out kind of what's the payoff for you doing this behavior. Otherwise, you don't have an incentive to release it. So when I work with people, I want to find out, where did this come from, right? What's the payoff for you? What's the perceived payoff? Because you won't get rid of a behavior, even the shit that's killing you, until you can understand why you've held on to it for so long. There's been value. For me, I was under the delusion that, most of this I was doing so that I could fit in and be liked, but ultimately it was killing me and led to binge drinking and an eating disorder and everything else. And then eventually I used this behavior as a reason to get drunk. I used it, well, I do everything for everybody else, so I deserve my wine at the end of the day, right? I had a lot of things to unpack. And throughout the course of my life, 8 years ago when I decided I had enough of the dysfunctional behavior and I was just going to be me instead, obnoxious, loud, crazy, over the top or whatever it is, and just be me, and stopped, and really, because I craved that commitment, right? I wanted somebody just to really radically accept and love me for me. I had to stop being who I thought you wanted me to be, right? That was step 1. And then I had to understand the commitment I sought was actually the commitment I needed to give myself. You can't expect other people to respect your boundaries or pick up what you're laying down if you don't pick up what you're laying down. If you don't respect your own boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. I can help you, all right? Step 1, And how do you stand up for yourself is you get underneath the hood and figure out what behaviors are you demonstrating, why are you demonstrating those behaviors, what's the payoff, what's the pain associated to hanging on, and then we can figure out a strategy particularly for you to move forward. I have a woman today I met with in my coaching practice, one of my beloved clients. I said to her this morning, you're on a band when somebody asks you and you go, you want to be a mom? You want to be a caretaker? Your homework today, this whole entire week, part of it is to look at somebody and go, I don't know. Do you know for somebody like us that actually kills us because we want to solve the world's problems? We want to look at everybody else and go, here's what you need to do and here's what you need to do. And we have very lack of insight into ourselves. So first, we need to become our own clients, right? Like that's how I did it. I decided I'm going to be my own client, eat my own medicine, and I'm going to heal, and then I'm going to take that a step further and start working with other people. So if you know that you're PC, you're Patty Perfect, okay, you're controlling Connie, then I want you to do what you really need to do, which is stop coming to the water fountain of my videos, which is, I'm glad you do, honey, believe me, I'm glad you do. And you know who you are, okay? You watch everything I put out, right? You drink a little bit of water at the water fountain, then a couple of days later, another video comes out, and you're like, or whatever. Honey, you need to dig a well and go deep. Let's get on with your coaching, okay? Go ahead, hire me. Let's get underneath the hood. It's not going to take a very long time because I'm good, all right? I know how to get in there and get going so that we can have some monumental progress with you. So let's do that, right? Let's do it, because I'll tell you what, you make this small investment in yourself now, and then the rest of your life, you're going to be living your dreams because you're going to go after things. And that's the most important thing. And you've got to start with telling that douchebag who you're not attracted to, get the fuck off me. Okay? I was so intense, I almost spitting on you. All right? I love you. Go to lovecoachheidi.com or right here, message me. Let's get this party started. All right? It's time to take control of your life. I love you.